Hey guys and gals, welcome back to our YouTube channel. In this short video, I'm going to show you how to use the class booking calendar inside of HighLevel. The class booking calendar is very useful if you're going to be booking multiple people into one appointment. So a perfect example of that would be we use it for our open office hours where we do customer support and training online. And so our members can book that appointment for those weekly meetings and they can jump on at the slot that they booked, and then we can help many people at one time. So also very good if you're doing different kinds of training, virtual events or things like that. Anything really where you want to have multiple people come on to one meeting and they can all book those slots, and you can set how many slots are available. You can also charge for those appointments. So it's really useful. So let's just jump straight into it. I'll show you how it's done. But before we do, make sure if you're not already subscribed, click that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. And if you leave a comment, we'll get back to you. And let's just jump straight into it, and I'll see you on the other side. So here we are inside of our dashboard. We're just going to come straight into calendars, and in our calendar settings here in the top, we're going to create a new calendar. So when we have a new calendar, we've got the different calendar types here. The simple calendar, it's the most basic calendar you can use, and this will allow you to sync with one external calendar. So really, this is just for a one-on-one, somebody that's doing very, very basic things. But if you have multiple calendars you're trying to sync with, this is not the way to go. You'll want to go with the round robin. This is a team calendar. You can have multiple people booking in here. You can also have it sync with multiple calendars of your own, so that if you have several different calendars, you can sync all of those into the round robin. So this is typically what I recommend going with if you're just doing one-on-one meetings. Collective booking, this is where you can have somebody book a meeting with two people on your team. Let's say you have a salesperson and an engineer and they want to book. This will allow them to find a time where you're both available and book both of you for that meeting. And of course, the one we're talking about today is the class booking. This is where you can schedule a meeting with a single person on your team, and you can decide how many slots you want to have available for that meeting. So let's select that. And it brings up just the basic pop-up here. We have an advanced settings down below, which will allow us to get in and add more things. So for now, we're just going to call this our ClickHubs office hours for design. Then we can add a description, design support, so your pages can convert better. Okay, and then next up, we're going to select a team member. This is who owns this calendar, and we can only select one person, so I'm going to select myself here. And then we're going to add the slug for our calendar. So this is just the last part of the calendar. This has to be unique. It can only be used once. So if it's not available, you'll just need to adjust it until you find something that's available. So we're going to call it office hours design. And you can see that's already taken. So maybe at the beginning, I'm going to add a CH. And I like to separate these by just a hyphen. You can use an underscore, no spaces and things like that, no special characters. So just keep that simple. And our meeting duration is going to be 1 hour, and we're going to allow 20 people to attend per hour meeting that we have. And then we'll just change this to hours. And then here we can decide what days we want to have these. So I'm going to say these are available on Wednesday and Thursday. And then the time is going to be 11 a.m. until noon for both of those days. And then the meeting location, this is where you would enter either if it's a physical address, you can enter that here. People are showing up to meet, or if it's going to be a Zoom room, you can enter your Zoom link here. So Zoom link here. And then if you want to accept payments, you can accept payments. This works with the Stripe that you've set up for your account. So if you don't have Stripe set up, you won't be able to use this. But if you do have Stripe, it just automatically defaults to that, and you can decide how much you want to charge. This means people can pay while they're booking, and they'll need to pay in order to complete the booking if you're going to accept payments for this. And next up, we'll go to advanced settings. This is going to open up our advanced window, and this is where we can do things like upload our logos. So I'm going to just upload the logo there. You can do square or circle, and if you want to edit the name, the description, you can do that here. I'm going to add this to a group. So a group just allows you to have a page where people can come, and it shows the different types of appointments you have available. So here you can see we have office hour for design. Here we have a different one, and then when people select that, it's going to take them straight to the calendar. So we'll assign that to the group here, and then the meeting invite title. This is what's going to show in the calendars like Google Calendar and things like that. So here's the contact name that will automatically be replaced with their actual name, and then you can say open office hours, whatever you want to call it. And again, we've already done the team member, and here we've already added our Zoom link. You can adjust your colors here. So next we're going to click save. This is where if we want to fine tune our ability, we can do that. You can see we also have an option for additional time. So if you have a lunch break, you can set that and then come in here and set your different times. And then if we want this to be a recurring meeting, so if you want this to happen every week, for example, we're going to say weekly. And how many times do we want it to repeat? The max we can do is 24. And then if the slots aren't available, what do we want people to do? We just want to skip the booking if there's no available slot. You can continue booking or book the next available slot as well. And then the meeting interval, this is the time that you're going to have between booking slots. The meeting duration is how long our meeting is. We already set that for 1 hour. How much minimum time do you want to notice? I'm going to say 3 hours. And then the date range, if you want it to only be booked over the next certain days. So let's say I'm going to say 8 days. I just want them to be able to book 1 week in advance. Again, how many seats per class, and the buffer time is how much time between meetings. So we'll save that. Next up, it takes us to forms and payments. If you want to ask some specific questions prior to the meeting, for example, if I wanted to say, what kind of design tips would you like to talk about? You can create a form ahead of time, and that would be in the sites forms section. And once you create that form, it's going to show in this drop down, and then you can just select the form that you want to use in this calendar. This is going to replace the default calendar, so make sure you include the name, phone number, and email on here as well. And then once you select the form, it's just going to use this form instead of the default form. Sticky contacts, that will pre-fill the information ahead of time. So if it's somebody that's already been in your contacts, then it uses cookies to fill that information out just to make it easier for them to proceed. Most of the case I have this set, but there may be times where you don't want to use that. And then the consent checkbox, this is just an opt-in checkbox that allows them to consent to receiving messages from you. Now, once they book the appointment, you can send them to a confirmation message here, which you can customize, or you can send them to another URL. For example, if you wanted to send them to a thank you page with more details, or maybe you want to send them to an additional page where they can fill out a form and get some additional information, you can just enter that URL here. And then if you want to fire your Facebook pixel, you just put the pixel number here. Next up is auto confirm new calendar meetings. So it's just going to confirm these automatically. We'll save that, and then we'll go into notifications. It's just going to send out the default notification. Who should receive these? You can select these if you want to send it to the contact of the assigned user, and also if you want to send it to a specific email address. I prefer to do it in automations and set up my own automations that will send reminders, notifications, and things like that. And then here, if you want to let Google also send invitations, and if you want to assign the contact to their respective calendar team members, you can do that here as well. So we'll just save that. And the last up is customizations. This is if you want to add a cover image. This is going to show in the groups. When I showed you that preview of the group, that's the image that will show there. Should be maximum 180 by 180. Max file size 2.5 megabytes. And by default, this uses Neo, so that's the only option for this type of calendar. And then if you want to show how many seats are available, you can toggle this on or off. So when they're booking, it'll show them how many seats are available. Any custom code you want to use, CSS or JavaScript, you can put that in here. And how do you want to handle people canceling and rescheduling meetings? You can toggle these on or off based on your needs, as well as some additional notes here. You can customize that. So we'll save that. So we're going to come in here and we're going to just grab our scheduling link from the calendar we just created. And let's just take a look at that, preview it. So there you can see we've got our date, we've got our 20 seats available for 11 a.m. And because I put the 8 days on there, it's really limited as to what it's showing. So you want to make sure that it's showing the way you want it to. Otherwise, you can just go in and edit the advanced notice and things like that. And then while it's processing the slots here, making sure it's available, you got the spinner here. And then once this is done, it's going to allow me to go to the next spot and enter my information here, and then there's the checkbox and confirm. One other thing really quickly, If you wanted to embed this into a funnel, you could do that as well, or a website page. So if we head over to sites, I have a template already made for this, so I'm going to open that up here. So then we can come inside of the editor, and I've already got a calendar element here. We just select which calendar we want to use. So this is going to be our open office hours for design. So now we select the calendar and we save the page, and then we can preview that. And it just allows us to have it on a nicer looking page, so we can have more of our branding, links and things like that the way we want to. So that's optional, or you can just share the direct link if you want to just keep things simple. So that's it, guys and gals. Super easy to create your own class booking calendar. And so if you're going to be doing any kind of training and you have multiple people that need to book a slot, this is the way to go. So I hope you appreciated the tutorial. Make sure, once again, if you're not already subscribed, click that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and I will see you in the next video.